Sex education courses in school is a topic that, while controversial, is necessary to teach our country's young people the risks and dangers of sex in order to allow them to make informed choices and teach them ways to mitigate these risks. As residents of Florida, we have a duty to our youth to get behind legislation that regulates sex ed in our public school systems. Comprehensively educating students on sex is not high on Florida policymakers' priority lists. The facts are 22 states and the District of Columbia require public schools teach sex education, and Florida is not one of them according to the National Conference of State Legislators. Sex ed in school is necessary, and we have the power to do something about it by encouraging our local and state representatives to implement education policies for our children beginning in middle school and spanning through a student's high school career. Other states that teach sex ed have a lower number of unintended pregnancies and STD infections. The state of Florida, however, is ranked nationally as having the 15th highest teenage pregnancy rate and the 17th highest rate for STD infections, according to the CDC. To combat these staggering rankings, comprehensive sex education in schools has been identified as an effective method to address the root issues that help teens make responsible decisions to keep them safe and healthy. Like all arguments, there are opposing views to consider. There are some people who argue against comprehensive sex education on the basis that it promotes teens to actually become sexually active earlier. The facts are, when surveyed, the vast majority of teachers believe that youth should receive accurate information about birth control and safer sex, and that the dissemination of accurate information does not encourage youth to become sexually active. There are some parents that feel that sex education should happen at home as opposed to school. However, the alarming teenage pregnancy and STD statistics in this rate can indicate that parental sex ed messages are either not being heeded or are not effective. And then there are religions. Many religions do not condone sexual acts before marriage on the grounds of it being immoral. And they also believe that teaching teens about sex is encouraging sin and religious defiance. Again, the comprehensive sex education programs that teach both the importance of contraceptive and the concept of abstinence have been proven to have positive mental behavior effects on students. There's no evidence to suggest teaching teens all the facts about sex leads to sexual activity or any other detrimental action. Sex education courses need to become required, standardized part of public school curriculum. By giving students non-biased, factual information about sex, we are giving them the tools to make positive, healthy choices. Lobbying local Florida school boards to include comprehensive sex ed is a viable option. To clarify, Florida state statute says descriptions for comprehensive health education shall not interfere with the local determination of appropriate curriculum. This provision gives school boards leverage and room to determine what is taught in public schools and thus can be swayed by voters and parents. Encouraging our legislators to address the sex ed issue at a state level is also another way to empower our youth to make those safe, healthy choices about sex. To illustrate the support that comprehensive sex ed has, 73% of registered voters believe that public schools should teach a comprehensive sex ed program. The fact is, the only way to bring about a change in the state's education policy is for voters to push their policymakers into action. National research indicates that comprehensive sex education for teenagers is effective, and if the evidence exists, then Floridians owe it to their youth to ensure that they receive the best education possible, especially on such an important topic. With teenage pregnancy being high in Florida, it's encouraging to know that in other states where comprehensive sex ed is taught, it's associated with a 50% lower risk of teen pregnancy than those states who only teach abstinence. One Florida school district, Broward County, is the 6th largest in the nation, and they've implemented a comprehensive sex ed program to counteract their high rate of AIDS and HIV infection and teen pregnancy. This curriculum begins in the 15-16 school year. The only way comprehensive sex ed programs will ever be a requirement in Florida schools is if voters push the issue with policymakers on both the local and state levels. To get changes on a local level, voters can contact their county school board and raise the issue and find out the board's position on comprehensive sex ed. To attack the issue on a larger scale, Florida voters need to contact their district's state senator and express their thoughts on the need for comprehensive sex ed in area schools. I encourage each parent, educator, and person that cares about our state's youth to examine the facts about this issue and reach out to the policymakers that can make a difference. Our state's children are counting on us to educate them in the most complete ways possible. This includes difficult topics like sex, like diseases, the risks, the anatomy, and any information that can allow young people to make empowered, safe choices about their bodies. Thank you.